Well, hello. I'm so happy that you joined us again. This is Charlene Green, and I have the honor and privilege on a regular basis to introduce my father to you, Dr. John Taylor. And I'm very excited about our webinar today. It's part 2 of the series on anger. And you know, John is so incredible. He has been passionate about helping families create harmonious relationships and for people to really understand themselves. And he's been doing this since 1971. He started off as a psychologist and has branched out into so many different areas of helping people, from live seminars, which he's currently doing, to writing over 24 books and numerous articles and resources for you. And you can find a lot of these tools at his website, which is Parentology.Guide. And he's going to talk about some of those tools today throughout this webinar. And you know, I just want to say before I bring him on to kick it off for you, how powerful it is even for me as an adult to be hearing about anger. You know, John came into my life later as an adult. I got to welcome him as a father in my life. And, you know, I don't call him my stepdad because he's more like a father. But I didn't have the training from him growing up on anger. And I'll say that for me, I didn't understand that anger is a healthy emotion. It's an indicator. It's a guide for you to know what's going on with yourself. And there's a lot of different ways to understand that, to channel it. And when we do that, we can function so much better. And as a parent, we can help our children understand themselves and I think be much healthier rather than just stuffing it down. So I'm very excited today to bring John on, and he's got some great training for you and some tools and little guides that you can use with yourself, but most certainly with your children. So John, take it away.
Thank you very much, Charlene. Welcome. I'm so glad you could be with us today. Anger is something like frosting on a cake of pain. In this series, we discussed that anger basically is a secondary response to a primary hurt of some sort or some sort of pain. It is sort of like the frosting added to the cake. Frosting is on top of the cake. The cake is underneath, sort of lurking underneath the frosting. Pain is lurking underneath anger. Anger is a secondary response to the existence of the pain. The frosting is a response you make to a cake sitting there that needs frosting on it. So anger is essentially not the main issue. Anger points to pain. Anyone having a lot of anger is in a lot of pain. And to solve anger, don't mess around with the frosting very much. Deal with the pain. Deal with the cake. If you eliminate the cake, there is no need for any frosting. So people whose needs are met do not get angry. If you're violated and hurt, then anger comes. It essentially is a protective mechanism. Now today, I wanted to share with you one of the best concepts for explaining anger and how it works to children. And you can use it in yourself too. And it is a 3-step procedure that I call play the ace. Play the anger ace. Now you know that the ace is the high card, that it wins the games, it's powerful. And children can have a positive association with the ace card sometimes. And so it's a simple kind of concept for them to remember, and it's a cute little image. There's a little trick in training children about life. If you can find ways to have them remember simple little principles, such as a rhyme, an acronym, a positive image, it helps them greatly. And this ace of anger, all roads lead back to it, really, in handling anger. So let's take a look at that. Look at that. The A stands for alter what you are doing if you're hurting yourself. Now your son throws his math book across his bedroom and slams into the door. And obviously he's got a lot of anger. He screams, "I hate math." Now you go in there. He doesn't need a lecture on not throwing books in his bedroom. What he needs is help with math. And so you help him alter the approach he's taking to that math. He wasn't doing his daily assignments well, etc. You make a new game plan. He'll check in with you at night. You'll go his homework with him, something like that. Now what he's done is solve the cake. He is no longer having anger about math. And a week later, we find your son happily doing his math. No anger. Why? We eliminated the cake of pain. By altering the approach he was taking if in fact it's one of those anger moments in which he's hurting himself. No one else is really hurting him. He's doing it to himself by not doing his homework, not studying for the test, etc. So always start with yourself if you're going to rectify any situation anyway. So there's a lot of wisdom in training him on the A of A's. When you're angry, honey, start with A. It doesn't spell ECA. It's not ECA. It's ACE. So basically do them in this order. The first one, change yourself to try to make the situation better. In an adult situation, your boss is rude to you and critical of you at work. And so what you do is try to shape up and give the boss what he wants. So he'll get off your back because you're angry every day after work. You want to stop the anger. And the anger's telling you you're being violated, you're being hurt. It's a secondary response to a primary hurt. And A would be trying to please your boss better so he doesn't yell at you. That's what you're trying to do. Now we go to C. What if that doesn't work? Then C of Ace, confront the person and get them to stop hurting you. So you would confront your boss and say, I've done all these changes and you're still dissatisfied with me. Is there any way that you can reword what you're doing, or can we have a more peaceful solution? You approach the boss about, you're a mean boss, stop being so mean to me, that kind of idea. Now this, of course, is a difficult situation. And there's a whole art and science in how to assert your needs to other people. I have developed a simple little formula for children, and I originally developed with young hyperactive children who tend to be very rude and brash and have a poor sense of boundaries. And I'd like to share it with you. It works so well with kids. I call it the magic triangle. The idea is that it always works, and it consists of 3 parts or 3 sides, hence magic. Now, the first side of the magic triangle is to tell the person, please stop doing what you're doing. So your younger daughter, age 10, tells her older sister, age 14, please stop borrowing my sweaters without telling me that you're taking them. Now, notice the first word of this 2-word sentence. So train children when they're confronting people to do it nicely and politely with the politeness words. So a calm, courteous, telling somebody to stop, and it's please. And the 10-year-old is exactly specific on what to stop. It's not stop being a mean sister, stop being so snoopy. It's stop taking my sweaters without asking me. Be very specific as you tell somebody to please what it is you want them to stop doing, and be honest and calm about it. The second side of the triangle, or the second step of confronting, is to offer what do you want the person to do instead. So please ask me permission before you borrow a sweater. Now, this again is very specific. It's not please shape up and stop being mean. It's please do such and such instead. And notice the first word of this 2-word sentence again. So we're still training our children when they confront others to be polite and calm and courteous. And after you tell them what you want them to do instead, then the third part of that 3-part step to confront, or magic triangle, I will support that even. I'll even help you do it. If you do that, I will help you. I will lend you my sweater if you ask me permission, so forth. So this is how I will support that. If you do that for me, here's what I'll do to support that whole thing. So not only do you tell them what you want them to stop, you tell them what you want them to start doing instead, and even offer what you will do to support that whole effort. Being very kind here, very helpful. That's the way to train kids in general to confront other kids. And thus we have a magic triangle, and the 3 sides are please stop doing what you're doing. Please do this instead. Here's how I will help you. If you do that, I'll do this for you. That is the C, that is confront. And that basically would be you and your boss also. You could, in an adult version of that, what I would like you to stop doing is referring to me as boneheaded. And what I'd like you to do instead is, if I'm making an error, tell me politely and exactly what the error is without using condemnatory terms like that. If you do that, I'll be much happier here and be obviously more diligent, and I'll listen carefully to any instruction you have for me. That would be Magic triangle for you confronting a nasty boss. Now, the escape, the E of ACE. What if A and C don't work? Then protect yourself. If you're getting angry every day after you come home from work at your boss, your anger is telling you you are being hurt. The anger is the secondary response. The primary hurt is trying to protect you. It is self-protective mechanism. Then to honor the anger, the wise thing to do is if A and C don't work, you get a new job. So your child is in an athletic team and the coach berates your child, keeps your child on the bench all the time. Your child comes home angry and crying, or a combination thereof, after every practice, after every game. Get your child out of that team. Now, there are some people who say, well, don't give up, hang in there, and so forth. But not if anger is there, telling you over and over you are being violated. And do the A, try to shape up and do what the coach wants. C, ask the coach to please stop treating you that way, please let you play more and not on the bench. And if that isn't going to happen, then E, you just escape from that. Now, younger children don't have that much of an E option. Something like maybe don't play with her at recess, get a different friend to play with, and something like that. But the older people get, the more they are in charge of the factors in their lives. And with you and your job, anything, you get a new job. With your teenager on the athletic team, get a different team. Stop, just quit the team, get a different team. If the anger is there, the anger, remember, is protecting you. It is because you are being hurt that you have the anger. Now, these are wise ways to deal with anger. There are many other wise ways to deal, but the ACE is the central pivot point, probably the best general wisdom to teach people about that. There are many ways to misuse anger, do the wrong things that aren't healthy, and that's going to be the topic of other mini webinars here. There are some resources available for you on today's topic. My book that I wrote, Anger Control Training for Children and Teens, is for adults to train children in these kinds of principles. And I do mention the ACE of anger. I teach about it here in this book. And also, there's an excellent couple of books called Chill Out, written for children to read. Just excellent. The author is very wisdom-laden and uses these principles very, very well. We have many, many resources for you at our website on anger and many other related topics. Please visit us on the website, and please join us again for another one of these mini webinars. Thank you so much. I hope this has been really helpful for you today.